Back with Miss Trina Times. Miss Trina Times, you're a business owner, and you talked to me about your past, growing up in a very strict home, being almost not pushed to your destiny or to your dreams,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That what God put in your heart to do.
Right.
Okay.
With the gifts He gave me.
Right, right.
Yes.
Now, tell us about your hair business and what you did to get in the hair business. Like, what are some of the things that you do?
I do cuts, but I specialize in colors and cuts.
Okay.
I do blowouts. I call them silky blowouts because the blow dryer is really what straightens it. Like
Okay.
It needs to be straight before you hit them flat irons with it.
Okay.
And then I do pixie cuts. I specialize in cuts, so I do pixies.
Right.
You know, the short cuts, any kind of cut you want. So I call them designers, you
Right.
know. But yes, you know, the ladies that love the little rock 'em, whether they natural or relaxed.
Okay.
So those are my those are my things.
Those are your things.
Yes.
Now, now when I first met you, you had this color. Was it color essence?
Yes, color
All right.
essence.
So you do all the red hair, the green hair,
Yes.
the purple hair.
Yes.
What did
Pastel.
you? What's that all about? Tell us how you got into that.
So color was my thing. I always loved color. I always
Okay.
loved hair color. So I knew when I got into hair school, I was going to try to understand the hair color. One of the things I would hear prior to ever going to hair school was color breaks our hair.
Wow.
So I knew if I got into this, I needed to master why does it break our hair.
Okay.
When I knew that Caucasians growing up around them
Okay.
always got hair color and they never talked about it broke our hair.
Wow.
And I always wanted to break down the science behind the chemicals.
Okay.
Being a kind of a nerdy bookworm kid,
Okay.
I always kind of was in my room reading whatever I could get my hand on.
Okay.
So when I went to hair school, I said, I'm going to master this destiny of mine. I'm going to master hair color.
Okay.
I'm going to break it down, understand the levels, the texture of hair, the porosity of your hair. I'm going to understand the overall condition of your hair.
Okay.
And let you know what you can get. I do ranges, and I call them caramel, ginger, autumn. You know, we can go all the way to any kind of blondes.
Right.
But the thing is, I stress integrity.
Okay.
So when you come and you're talking about a color such as blonde, that's higher up on the scale.
Right.
So that requires a lot more maintenance than a color that you would do with like a brown.
Okay.
Because you're not lifting up as much. So you're taking some strength. So it has to be replaced what was taken out.
Wow.
Your densified bonds become broken.
Okay.
In your hair strands.
Okay.
And depending on your texture, it's fine, medium, and coarse. You know, and fine is the weakest hair.
Okay.
Coarse and medium is the stronger.
You're
And we
stronger.
look at your density. Your density is the inches per square. You know,
Okay.
so that breaks down the components, letting me know. I check your porosity, lets me know if you can develop, you know, if your hair is damaged. Porosity tells me a lot of things. Hair
Right.
talks.
Okay.
Your scalp talks.
Okay.
You know, and so I talk to you. I tell you things that you should do, like don't drink no caffeine. It stimulates and make your scalp burn. If it's a chemical, drink water.
Okay.
You know, certain things that you should do before coming for a chemical service.
Right. Right.
And I talk to you about the importance of coming for treatments.
Okay.
That things that you're not going to know. I know what to replace was taken out your hair. You know, this is what I mastered. This is what I went to school. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. That's means something. I went to school for this.
Absolutely. So you ain't just, you know, because a lot of times people just say, hey, I do hair. They jump on hair. And they can do hair. Mm-hmm. But one thing that I noticed, and you know, check me if I'm wrong about this, but one thing that I noticed is I'm like, how is African-American boys' hair growing longer than African-American girls?
Because boys leave their hair long.
Okay.
Okay, girls may put it up in ponytails, which will bring tension.
Okay.
We brush it. I know when we was growing up, my father was like, my mother's name is Maxine. you're going to burn them girls' hair out, you know.
Right.
We came up in an era where there was really no education when it came to understanding our hair.
Wow.
So my mother was straightening our hair with the stove, you know,
Okay.
and with the curlers. But the heat is an element that can break your hair. It can dry your hair. It's a drying agent like alcohol. And
Wow.
so where's the moisture? The moisture is less, you know,
Okay.
and your hair. So then it begins to break your strands.
Okay.
Whereas boys just leave their hair alone.
Okay.
You know, ain't nobody touching, ain't nobody pulling at it and all of that. So it grows, and your hair grows at least 1 inch a month.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it does. You're going to have new growth.
Wow.
But if you don't treat your hair, and when your hair is natural, it doesn't need as much moisture.
Okay.
But when you put chemicals in it, it has a drying agent. I don't care if you have color or you have a relaxer.
Okay.
That's a chemical.
Okay.
So it's taking the strength, certain things out of your hair.
Okay.
So your hair is now weaker. It's not what God gave you.
Wow.
So then it needs to be treated.
Okay.
You need to understand that your hair can be overly processed. It could be dry. It may need protein.
Okay.
And so that's where the license can come in to look at it. But when you leave your hair alone and treat it and deep condition it,
Right.
yes, it will grow. I mean, you will see growth.
Okay.
And that's, you know, a lot of the wigs, it's not made, your hair is not made. It's like the ground. If you cover that grass, can it breathe?
Right. Right.
So that's what's happening with the wig. The scalp can't breathe.
Oh, wow.
So then your follicles coming up your scalp. So all of these, what we're doing now, and it's so sad because I have a passion for this industry, but we're sitting up here pushing these babies with these wigs on.
Wow.
We're a lot of times we're depending on your hair texture. If you keep braids in your hair, this is weight.
Okay.
So you may have too much heavy hair added to the braids,
Okay.
which is tugging and pulling at it.
Tugging
so then,
and pulling on your
so
hair.
then you see the edges falling out. Ponytails, this can't breathe because something's sitting on it.
Right.
And so you'll see a bald spot. So we have a lot of alopecia, different forms of it now.
Okay.
That we never seen before in the industry.
Wow.
And nobody's talking about it because we'll slap a wig on. I mean, it's at the beauty supply store. You can get them on Amazon. People sell them.
Right.
You know, and these lace fronts, and we're not that. Grandmama wore wigs on Sunday. She came home and took that thing off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Now it became a fad almost, like
Yes.
the whole wig thing,
Yes.
like, you know, as if it was a fashion statement. You
Exactly.
know, like I don't know, you know.
Yes, it did. If you know, the kids started seeing celebrities. So, and a lot of, when you talk back, Michael Jackson, I can think of early memories after he got burned. He was wearing
Right.
lace fronts.
Okay.
But lace fronts started really becoming popular in the 2000s when the weave era really took off, the sew-ins and all of that.
Okay.
So the sew-ins, what it really did was make people lazy when it came to hair care.
Okay.
You know, the women started going to school and becoming career women. You couldn't wear dreads. You had to come in almost as European, with the European look. And we don't talk about that, but that had a lot of impact to do with why women, they couldn't come with color. If
Okay.
you're trying to get a good job, graduated in college, you know,
Right.
you had to come with this look that was almost like a white girl, just
Okay.
with sewing in. So you would see it on newscasters.
Okay.
You know, and lighting, movie sets.
Right.
Our hair is like grows out like a tree. That's how our hair grows. It
Right.
doesn't grow straight down like every other ethnicity on this earth. We are so unique that our hair grows out like a tree.
Man. You were very educated in this field, more than I thought, you know.
Yes.
When it comes to, you talked about our hair growing out like a tree.
Yes.
Give us some symbolic behind that. I know we supposed to be going to a commercial break, but I want to hit that before we go to the commercial. But tell them.
Yeah. So God, this is when I say this is God, because our hair grows like the roots. It comes out like a tree. It stands out. It stands up. No other race hair stands up. It falls down. It's straight. Even if you're naturally curly and you're Caucasian, You're Puerto Rican, it still falls down. If you're Asian, it falls down. And Asian hair is the hardest to color because they're down at number 1 or 2, mostly 2, 1. That's the darkest hair color. We're next.
Wow.
Yes.
Game Changers Magazine, Game Changers Media Network. Miss Trina Times.
Yes.
Color, essence of color, color of essence. All that, man. You guys stay tuned, man. We're going to go to a commercial break, wrap this up, man. Part 3 with Miss Trina Times here on Game Changers Media Network, Game Changers Magazine. What's Little Bit Podcast. Stay tuned.